Earlier this week, I spoke to a marketing manager at a small accountancy company, and they asked me the question of, James, which LinkedIn ad format is the best one for us to use? Because they had a lot of decent ideas of the actual campaigns they should be running, they just weren't sure which ad formats were best for different situations and different scenarios. And like everything else with LinkedIn ads, sadly, LinkedIn doesn't always recommend what's actually best for you. It often recommends what's best for them and for you donating your budget to their bank account. So I thought I'd take that question and film a video on it. And the done thing with videos like this is to rank every different format and to do a tier list. Sadly, in this video, I'm going to be ranking LinkedIn ad formats rather than Premier League goal scorers from the noughties and 90s, but I also really want to clarify exactly who this video is for. This is for those small, niche, boring and unsexy B2B businesses, whether that's founder-led or there's a small marketing team in place where they've got maybe 500 quid to 5 grand a month to look at advertising and ultimately getting in more leads for their business. And that's the bottom line, is getting in more leads. It's not about huge brand awareness plays with endless budget. It's around what actually makes sense for getting a good return on investment from that amount of advertising budget, not just what looks clever or what might apply to much bigger businesses with much bigger budgets than you're operating on. Okay, so I'll get into it. The tiers we've got are top of the list, it's money makers, because do what they say on the tin. Make the money, best ad formats to go for. Strong if done properly. Decent in certain situations. I feel like there might be a large cluster around here because sort of could apply to any marketing and any advertising tactic or channel. Overrated and avoid. But yeah, just as a reminder, I'm ranking these from the lens of applying it to small niche B2B businesses without endless budget and who want to concentrate on getting more leads more often. First up, we've got image ads, like the most straightforward, most basic, and what the majority of advertisers on LinkedIn and indeed other ad platforms spend their money on. Just a normal image ad in LinkedIn feeds. The good thing about these is very versatile. You can test loads of different things. They're quick and simple to produce. When I say quick to produce, some of the best performing ad campaigns are literally just selfies of the sales team or the founder. Ultimately, the ad image is a vehicle for the overall ad concept or ad hook that you're showing to your very, very specific target audience. Where image ads sometimes can struggle is one of two things really, is you're using the same stock boring photo of a handshake in an office because that's B2B and that's corporate and that's business. Stop it, doesn't work, and that is wasting your advertising budget because it doesn't stand out, it doesn't grab the attention of the person you're trying to reach. The other example that I see annoyingly quite a lot, not just on LinkedIn ads but also organic content on people's LinkedIn timelines, is they might get a designer or they might do it in-house on like Canva or Adobe or something, is they basically create like a leaflet or a poster where it's got loads of different ad copy, loads of different headlines, trying to explain everything their company's ever done in their whole history, loads of different elements on it. It's got their website URL, it's got their Instagram handle, it's got their Facebook handle, it's got their freaking TikTok account, it's got their phone number or multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, and it's way too busy. And if you think of the size of what an ad is appearing on a feed, do not try and overcomplicate it. One, algorithms don't like that much text on an image, especially like different text overlays, but just like as a person, they're not going to be able to fucking read it. So the best practice for images is like a simple, raw, authentic image hook that stands out and grabs people's attention. Spoiler alert, all these ad formats will do badly and you'll waste budget if you're making shit ads with them. Okay? However, saying that, image ads are the best for the beginners. They're the most versatile. You also do get benefits in terms of the algorithm and how often image ads are shown to people. So I'm going to stick them right at the top, grade A, money makers. It's still the backbone for the majority of B2B advertising campaigns, and it's the easiest for any beginners to create, improve and iterate on and get results from as well. Okay, next up we've got carousel ads. So carousel ads are like the slideshows that you flick through on LinkedIn. They do really well organically and posting organic content, but this is for LinkedIn ads. What this can do is communicate more across multiple different slides about a specific complex offer, a service, take you through a story or a testimonial, things like that. And like the ones I'm talking about, you just swipe horizontally through multiple images and it works, it replicates sort of the format people are used to seeing on Instagram carousels and things like that. It does allow you to communicate a bit more. You can break down a problem, you can show steps, you can compare before and afters and walk through a process. But again, leaning back into what I said about those image ads, a lot of people try and do too much within it and don't stick to a single ad concept or ad hook. And ultimately, the whole performance of a carousel ad relies very, very heavily on how attention grabbing and scroll stopping the very first slide is. You want to make sure that that first slide hyper fixates on the exact kind of audience that you want to attract, whether it's through the problem they're facing, their job title, the type of service they're looking for, and stands out on the feed because they feel so seen. Again, a trap a lot of people will fall into is using too much text on the image and trying to let the ad do everything, when realistically a lot of these adverts are, all they're going to do is persuade someone to take the next action and click through to where you want to take them next. Okay. Yes, over time you can communicate a lot of different things with repeat exposure, different types of ad, different types of concepts, and that omnipresence and always on messaging to your target audience. But to when you're actually creating and planning an ad, think simply, and it's all about making sure that your exact specific target audience that you want to work with are persuaded and curious enough to click through to the next stage. So I think for a carousel ad, this might come across as harsh, but I think for beginners, it's way too tempting to over-explain and spend ages on designing this beautifully crafted carousel that doesn't actually necessarily perform as well as standalone images. And you might be paying a lot more to reach your audience in standalone images, and you might be paying a lot more for these carousels to even appear on the feed versus standalone image. So I'm going to stick that in decent in certain situations. If you're like a company who does really well organically and you've got someone in-house or yourself who's watching this video, marketing manager, who posts on LinkedIn and can create good carousels that are raw, authentic, not overly polished, overly produced, it makes sense to put some spend behind them. But they are very average when done badly, so that's why I'm putting them in this one here. Okay, next up. This one could be controversial among the LinkedIn ads gurus and what a lot of people tell you. It's text ads. So literally, when you're on desktop, I'll show you an example right now, is on the right-hand side, I think technically it's called right rail. It's a very small ad that appears on the sidebar, and sometimes it's literally just a company logo and a small one line of text, almost a headline, and a very small headline of that, sometimes sub-headlines as well. The reason some people bang on about this is because the way LinkedIn charges you is different on these ads than other ads, and you can get very cheap impressions. However, like, my argument to that, especially for beginners watching this, people who want leads, is it sort of does fuck all. Like, you can't communicate that much in just a logo or a profile photo and one line of copy. The only way this works is it's very cheap impressions for large brands who are already doing really strong advertising campaigns across multiple different channels, and they've got overall their marketing strategies working really well. And this is just a cheap cherry on top of a well-structured cake. Okay, it's all about that halo effect of reinforcing the brand, always on exposure. It's essentially a tiny little display ad and a reminder in the corner of LinkedIn. Desktop only, no mobile. So retargeting audiences, it could be good for. And if you want ultra cheap additional visibility, but it's not really going to do that lead generation job for you, and especially if you're a beginner with smaller budgets, it's just overrated. And you should actually know, for anyone watching this video that wants to find out about what LinkedIn ads they should use, and they aren't already managing tens to hundreds of thousands of pounds a month for a global SaaS product that doesn't really care about adding in an extra thing, you should avoid. So I'm going to change it. It's not overrated. You should avoid if you're watching this video. Okay? That might be the most controversial one I pick, but let's see. Okay, next up we've got conversation ads. You might have seen this in your inbox. And yeah, any ad that goes into your inbox or anything that goes into your fucking LinkedIn inbox can be a bit Marmite. Some people hate it, some people love it. Some people get so offended, reply like absolute dickheads to any message in their LinkedIn inbox like you are attacking their home. The irony is, the ones where I get the worst replies from, and the most rude replies from, is normally the companies with huge sales teams, like boiler room effect, going out there, hammering out cold calls, hammering out cold emails, hammering out LinkedIn DMs, and they get the most offended. It's like, come on, what are we doing here? So, conversation ads, they appear in your inbox much like another ad format, which we'll talk about later, a message ad. However, you can almost set up a pre-filled conversation like a decision tree, or old school like chatbots, where you can let the user click a button rather than replying to go through like a pre-planned interactive conversation where it might be almost like a questionnaire sort of thing. It can help pre-qualify. It's quite easy for the user on the other end to go through, and it feels interactive, but it doesn't feel as human or personal as like a message ad. And a lot of people that get stuff in their inbox or on their feed, they might not be aware that you're paying for the ad. There's sort of like a dissonance, especially on LinkedIn, because 1 in every 3 to 4 posts are paid for ads on your timeline. But because so many of them are so boring, so shit, not relevant at all, you scroll straight past them and you're blind to them. And if you can make a in-mail or conversation I feel a bit more personal and look like someone's actually really gone and typed it, it's short, sharp, sweet, it's not overly corporate, it's actually relevant to them, you're going to perform much, much better. But I think a lot of the bad rep to do with conversation ads, message ads, and LinkedIn DMs in general is because it's written how nobody would ever talk to another human, and they're trying to, again, sell everything in one go. It's not that well targeted. But I would say, like, conversation ads are worth looking at if you've got the basics right, and if you are maybe retargeting, like retargeting people that come to your website or done a certain action on your website that you want to send messages to, they're worth looking at, and they can show you some great data. But it's sort of a thing that looks quite cool, and it's quite cool to set up, and yeah, overrated, I think. Overrated. I've talked quite a bit about like messaging ads just then, and how they're very similar to conversation ads, but you just send one message in a message ad, and the person can reply to it like a person. It's an actual conversation, or they can click straight through to the landing page you wanted. That's the other thing I didn't mention about conversation ads is the recipient might click a few options in your pre-planned structure, and you can guide them to different options, different landing pages depending on their answers. I would say if you want to do that sort of diagnostic quiz, build a quiz or a calculator on your landing page and website. If you are struggling to know where to start with that, book a call with the link below. I can show you some examples of ones we've done for other businesses or ones we've done for ourselves where you're doing that pre-qualification and interactive tool, but you host it, you own it, and it's not done in a LinkedIn inbox. Okay, that's a much better way of doing it. Should have thought about that when I was going through that. Yeah, so a message ad is literally like a sponsored message going straight into the LinkedIn DMs. You can target all the same targeting options you can apply to every other advertising option. So you can upload a specific company list. You can segment that down by specific job titles. You can create, again, filtered lists based on people who've been on different areas of your website, different industries, different purchasing behavior that they're sharing on LinkedIn, different interests. But the best ones are you upload a company list direct from your CRM of the specific companies you're going after and targeting, maybe lapsed leads, maybe people you've had conversations with before, maybe people you've never been able to get hold of via conventional sales methods. You filter that down by the job titles you transact with, and you send them a short, sweet, simple DM, asking an open question, offering them out. And again, some people are going to ignore you. Some people are going to come back at you like, how fucking dare you? But it's a numbers game, and some people are going to go, yeah, actually, I was meaning to book a call. I did see you at so-and-so conference, or yeah, that was that email that I never got around to doing, and we do need to look at this problem. We do need to sort this out. So, also, LinkedIn message ads compared to the other similar tactic of cold email or grafting and grinding away manually sending those LinkedIn DMs can be very cheap and very effective actually ensuring that it gets seen in the inbox, because you're not dealing with like spam folders and stuff like that, which cold email is increasingly hard to actually bypass and actually get the message even seen. And yeah, the LinkedIn open rates, LinkedIn like interaction rates, reply rates are really high. Even though some of you watching this might struggle to believe that, and it's again something I had to change, both organic like grafting LinkedIn message ad, LinkedIn DMs, and also message ads. I think my own personal bias stopped me and some of my clients years ago getting much better results with them. But the last 2-3 years, really, really strong, can work really well. You just need to do it right and not try and communicate everything. Simple, sweet, short, direct. And I think for this, so I put conversations overrated. I want to put it's one of these two. Decent in certain situations, strong if done properly. I'm going to put it in strong if done properly for now, but that could change. I could downgrade it a bit, because I think the variable in that is there's more powerful ad formats to communicate a lot more to cold audiences for beginners that might have large retargeting audiences. So I'm going to stick it in there for now, but it might get touched down a nudge. Right. Document ads up next. So document ads are quite cool, but are they the most effective? That's what we're here to find out. You upload a PDF or something that previously you might have gated behind a lead form on your website. LinkedIn shows us in the feed. It looks like a sort of carousel, but it's a PDF, and you can set it to after 3 pages, after 5 pages, after 8 pages, after 2 pages. Prompt whoever's reading it to fill out a form to access the rest of it. That lead information you get, and The benefit of having anything to do with leads on LinkedIn is you get their LinkedIn profile URL, you get all their like job title, company, their company size, more details on their company, automated, like it's out the box. I would also recommend anyone doing document ads or again lead generation ads, jumping ahead, double authenticate the email so it's not just pre-filled automated personal emails, which are harder to sort of follow up on. Great thing about document ads, lead generation ads, any lead form on LinkedIn, you get the LinkedIn profile URL, always message them again directly from that, ad connect, etc. Yeah, so it's basically a gated lead magnet and document behind a certain amount of slides. It can work well for really specific reports, benchmarks, deep guides, and things sort of like in that mid to early stage of a marketing funnel. I think the trend of like people just downloading PDFs and lead magnets willy-nilly has died down a bit because people are sick of being signed up to email lists they don't want to be on. But a lot of these documents are shit. What fucking really annoys me is LinkedIn do loads of these ads themselves, but they only have the first page. So like there was one I commented on the other day. It was like, best practice tips for running LinkedIn ads. You swipe through the very first page, and to get any more further and see any more tips, you've got to put your details in. It's like very basic for LinkedIn ads is you give them enough value to make the document worth downloading. Come on, LinkedIn. Anyway, right over. I would say from experience and why this might come quite lower down the list is the people that want to download PDFs and get documents and things like that and freebies, they are not the same quality or type of people who want to call and to work with you. And invariably, a lot of large companies can build up huge databases and a list of customers who've downloaded a PDF. They don't want to call. And so you should not be treating them like that, someone who wants to call. And that's a tendency or temptation for smaller B2B businesses, is just because someone's downloaded their free report or free guide, you then get annoyed that the conversion rate off the back of that isn't right, but they've not asked for a call or a free demo to get in touch with your team. So I would put in overrated, because equally, a lot of you watching this video, you're probably dealing with quite senior decision makers, and some of them just would not be asked or would not want to download a PDF. So don't waste your time with document ads. They can do well, but again, it's more of a cherry on the cake thing, and the document needs to be superb and in a way that drives enough curiosity for your exact ICP and exact person you transact with. Maybe I'm going to try and play devil's advocate here. If you are a website agency or website design agency, you could show like different sites and results and testimonials and case studies from your portfolio. Perhaps that could work, where it's a visual thing, you want to swipe through more and you want to see the pricing, like that could be behind a thing, but like a website would work better. I don't know what I'm about there. I've done it with, recently we did it with an IT company where it was all around like their huge benchmark report, quite a large IT company targeting quite large, serious finance, legal industry, and sort of CTOs and head of infrastructures at those sorts of companies, where they were doing huge reports around the state of the industry, and that did very well compared to their other cost per leads for other channels, but it didn't necessarily translate to calls and clients, unlike other ad campaigns could have. Right, next up, video. Okay. This one's tricky because I always recommend people to do video, and you can communicate so much more in a video, and you can get across like personality, character, and the will of people to work with you, and they make the follow-up sales calls that happen after someone books in so much easier because they feel like they know you a bit, especially if you've got a really decent sales team or founder-led marketing. You're putting a video of you in the LinkedIn feed, talk to them. People aren't necessarily recognizing you pay to do that. They just think it's coming up in their timeline. That can work really well. Simple video, selfie sales pitch shot with an iPhone. And it's a really good habit to get into shooting these videos. So especially for complex B2B products and services, you can communicate so much more. Especially you can drill down into their problems and their issues and how you can help solve it, and show little like on-screen social proofs like your Google reviews, testimonials, things like that. It can work really well. It can work really well for retargeting as well, and it can work really well if the person who's in the video is involved in the sales process. But overall, I think some people, when they think video ad B2B, is a very polished, very expensive 10 grand production company to film an interview, sit down with their CEO in ultimately a boring video, which is basically a brochure in a video form that doesn't work. It's not a sales message. It will not generate leads and it won't work as an ad. And some people can't film video, are reluctant to film it, don't come across that well, or it takes the time it would take to get a decent, simple video selfie sales pitch could outweigh the results compared to a simple image ad. So there's loads of benefits, but maybe I'm saying there's loads of benefits in the way I preach small B2B companies to do video. And videos also, it's shown slightly less than images on the timelines. It worked. I think strongly if done properly actually sums it up perfectly, because if it's done properly, it will normally outperform an image ad. If it's done properly, if you've got good structure. In fact, there's a link in the description below where you can click through and access and see some training on our video blueprint and how we recommend it to do to our clients. Saying that, some clients just still don't want to do it, don't have time, never like it. The good thing, the advantage is, like the trend at the minute is much more unpolished, no flashy cuts, overlays, and trust me, that saves me the editing time a lot. You just want to make sure you're speaking like a normal human to a normal person and putting your best sales pitch out there and making sure the opening 2 seconds hooks them in. Any text overlays on screen are really simple. They replicate like what people are used to seeing on TikTok and Instagram. It's vertical format does best. But I put it strong if done properly because too many people fuck it up, too many people get it wrong. Or like there's some wanky like video trailer, which is like our creds or introduction to our business, which doesn't really do anything. It's all like wanky, here's our visions, here's our values, overly corporate speak, but just done in a video with nice glamorous B-roll and stock footage and people smiling in the office like this. It doesn't sell what you want about. It's more focused on you as a business rather than the customer, the pain points, the problems, the issues they're facing that your product or service can help solve. Yeah. Oh, it needs to go. Can I move it? Yeah, definitely. It's above a message for sure. But they're like just the either end of the tier. Right, next up is thought leader ads. So I'm sure your feeds, you'll see this so often, daily, hourly, depends how much you're on LinkedIn. But you might not realise it's even an ad. This is where you literally take someone's post on their personal LinkedIn profiles, their organic posts, and you can put spend behind it. So instead of their organic posts getting seen and liked by people they went to uni with, people they went to school with, recruiters trying to talk to them, people trying to sell to them, or literally what happens a lot is people within the same office as you or ex-colleagues or people in the same industry as you. Again, like a different accountant I remember speaking to before, they were just amazed at how most accountants' LinkedIn's are speaking to other accountancy practice owners, and there's just like this circle jerk, weird American phrase, but I don't know if there's an English one, circle wank doesn't sound right, of accountants making content for other accountants who like and comment and share about other accountants and never get seen by your actual customers. So the benefit of thought leader ads is it looks really authentic, looks more native, feels a lot less corporate, but what you're paying for is to make it appear in front of your very, very specific target audience who actually buy from you. We use it for an IT client, different ones one I talked about earlier, where some of their sales team, account managers, marketing managers can talk about the promotions and upcoming offers they have to their current customer base, be promoted to them, but it's from a personal profile. It could be a simple selfie of them, or if they've got an upcoming event, they can show some of the selfies and photos of them on stage or at the previous event they held. It can work really well. For a lot of other clients, we're just planning one right now, is in the build up to industry conferences and events. A lot of people do like, oh, who's going to so-and-so event next week? Comment below if you're free to grab a coffee, or here's, we're going to be at stand X92, come and comment below for a free ticket into the raffle or whatever people do giveaways at these conferences. And then during the event, selfies, takeaways from the event, 5 things we'll learn at Expo, blah, blah, blah. And then post-event, you can really specifically target your exact target audience who you're not going to be at the event. Again, geo-block it and geo-fence it to the people at the actual event when it's happening. The phenomenon we get from clients a lot is people will come up to them and say, oh yeah, I saw all the stuff on LinkedIn. They think, oh, it's just because obviously we're in the same industry, same event, I'm sharing it, other people are showing it to our timeline, seeing it. No, we're paying for that, and that's the exact desired effect we want. So yeah, thought leader ads, really cool. However, there are some drawbacks to it. Sometimes your organic content might just not be great in the first place, and then paying and putting budget into just broadening the reach of it might not be the best use of your limited budget. Because another drawback of thought leader ads at the moment is it doesn't natively, like there's no call to action button on the actual ad itself. So it's a bit harder to direct to a landing page or website where you are going to generate leads from. I think if you are creating your organic content with that in mind, and blasphemy, putting a link or URL in the copy of your organic post, because the reality is, yes, it might take down your organic reach by like 5-10%, but that's massively outweighed by making it easy for the people that you want to work with and want to work with you to do something off the back of, or even doing, like you see it a lot now, DM or comment for link to whatever, or whatever freebie you might be giving away, or whatever you promised it. It can work really well. So and also, because it's still relatively new, I say that it's probably like 2 years old now. It can be quite cost effective and cheap to reach the same audience. I want to put strong if done properly and above message ads, because I think the halo benefit and effect of getting whoever the person is that you're boosting the post from, the halo effect of getting them much more recognised, and that's what this ad is. Yeah, it's no, it's not. But yeah, it's strong if done properly, because the halo benefit of basically shortcutting one of your employees, or quite often it can be the founder or the head of sales, whatever it might be, to being a thought leader and engineering their status as like a minor celebrity to your customer base and potential target audience. That negates the drawbacks currently, and I'm sure eventually LinkedIn will improve what you can do with a thought leader ad. Sometimes some of them get rejected, which is annoying, like because it won't comply with ad regulations, even though you can post on it. You also can't do like shares of one, so it's got to be a native organic post. But yeah, really cool if done properly. Last but not least is lead gen forms. So when I talked about document ads, right, I mentioned, you can scroll through a few pages and someone can click and fill out a form housed on LinkedIn rather than your website. Lead gen forms is basically you can run a video, a carousel, a single image that instead of guiding to a landing page on the website, guides to a lead gen form. All the other benefits of having all that company data about the person within it, and like a lot of profile data auto populates within it. I would say this is really useful for really easy asks, like low friction lead magnets. But again, like the people who want a lead magnet aren't necessarily the people who want to book in a call and work with your business right now. Or the other use case would be if you've got a really shit website, no website at all, can't even spring up a landing page, and your website's conversion rate is terrible. Your website agency are charging you through the roof to make it mobile optimized, all things like that. Maybe lead gen forms would work out better than you. But with a B2B sales process, B2B sales cycle, if it's a cold audience, so not one who's familiar with you, they want to see more information and do a bit more due diligence. And historically, data-wise, but also anecdotally, for clients and even like me and my business, the quality of lead you get in a lead generation form, both on LinkedIn and also Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, you get a lot higher volume of leads, but the quality is a lot lower. Whether that be actual like sharp rates to calls, things like that, or even you speak to them and they're not the same as a considered buyer who has done a bit more due diligence around you. That can always vary, but there's a lot less intent to someone who's visited your site maybe once, twice, and checked out different things. I'd only use this if you're, is it decent in certain situations or is it overrated? So what have I got decent situations? Carousel, conversations, document ads. I'm going to be kind and put it in decent certain situations. And that situation would be if you don't have a website yet, you're not happy with it at all, it doesn't convert, or the other side of the fence is if you've got a good retargeting audience that have visited your website multiple times, and this is an easy way, low friction way to get them to convert if for whatever reason they're not coming back to that form. So there we have it. The final ranking, up at the top, knew that would happen, single image ads, most versatile, best beginners, and easy to do. Video ads, strong if done properly is the perfect thing for video ads because they're amazing when done properly. Again, reminder, there's a link in the description below for our blueprint and how we structure it. It's not a script. It will help you come up with a suitable loose structure and script for the most charismatic person to follow. And also, if over the next 12 months you commit to creating video, short, snappy, selfie sales pitches, which you can post organically everywhere, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. If you do that because you want to create ads with them that you know are going to be seen by your target audience, and the byproduct of that is you have a load of content, and you or whoever is going to film it gets better at the process of communicating and recording and even editing these videos, that is going to benefit your business immensely over the next 12 months, even if those video ads don't necessarily perform that well straight away. To do it. Thought leader ads, strong if done properly. The overall effect that has on the business and the individual can be really strong. Message ads, strong if done properly. I think that's right because it needs to be above carousels and lead generation. So I think that's still fair. I back that. Decent in certain situations for the carousel lead generation. Overrated for conversation ads and document ads. I think they're like style over substance because they look and feel cool to create with, and it's like, oh yeah, we've done this fancy thing. But the actual proof in the pudding and the generating the fucking leads is not as strong as all the other ones above it. Avoid text ads for all the reasons I said earlier. And again, if you have tens to hundreds of thousands you're spending a month, it is a useful cherry on the cake. But it massively will over-report the attribution of it because the people that see it and the impressions that's served, they're probably not that high impact ones. After saying all this, here's the ultra honest bit. It's not really about the exact ad format you pick. It's about how strong your advertising hook is, about how strong your offer is, how much you can persuade someone into actually working with you and your business. So do not create boring ads, whatever format you use. Do not create shit ads, whatever format you use. So like for most B2B businesses spending between 500 quid to 5 grand a month, start simple, think image ads. If you're confident and want to do video, awesome. Thought leader ads. Again, that will start the practice of creating video content and creating content out there organically on LinkedIn, which you never know what can happen with that. And there's only additional benefits then going to come in. If you think about those being applied to those audiences I spoke of, have a clear company list filtered down by specific job titles, and if you have enough website traffic coming to you, a retargeting audience of people who visited your website recently, you'll do well, whatever sort of budget you're working with. If you don't even have the tracking set up to allow those LinkedIn ads and retargeting ads, there's a description in the link below and a link to our ultimate tracking guide, and I'll put some other links in there that help you create not boring ads and not shitty ads. If you've watched this and think, James, this is sound, this is very good advice, but we don't have the time or expertise in the house because we're already doing so much else, and we don't want to mess up LinkedIn ads with like all the different other issues that come about. We want to work with you. Cool, link in the description, book in a call, we can chat about your business, see if you're the right fit, and at the very least, you'll come away with it some scroll-stopping ad concepts for your exact industry and your exact target audience. For anyone that's unsure and they work for a boring B2B business or indeed own a boring B2B business and they just want some ideas on how to make it not boring, comment your business's website in below, and I will send you 3 free scroll-stopping ad concepts tailored to your exact business right now. Okay, cheers, bye, thanks for watching.